Hello, Justin Frandson, your athleticism performance coach, back with you here on EMF radiation and electricity pollution. Well, I want to talk about cars and electric cars. So the new cars, Wall Street Journal had an article in May of 2018 that said in 2022, there'll be almost 40 million new cars that have routers in them. So that's a lot of new cars, and that's a lot of routers. And that's a router that's actually right at your seat area where all the private parts are. Like, you don't want routers jumping up and spitting radio frequency at really high levels at you at all, period. Needless to say, you don't want it definitely down there for fertility challenges, because women's ovaries absorb 10 times the amount of radiation that any other part of the body absorbs, and then men's sperm count will drop tremendously with electricity. So that's new cars. So anything from 2016, 17, 18, most of them are starting to get routers in them, and they're all cross-wired. They're major electrical mess inside there. They're all run on electricity. So what I use is one of the car plugs from EMFrocks.com. You can get it at EMFrocks.com. It's a car plug. You plug it in your outlet. It has some chargers for your phone, and you can harmonize that vibration of any frequencies. Now, if you're driving a Tesla or an electric car where the entire floorboard is a battery, well, number one, I personally wouldn't drive one, and because there's so much electricity in it. That's a big battery right underneath you. That's tremendously toxic for the body. Body has our own frequencies. It revs it our own way. We're energy and water, but that energy is natural. It's not man-made. And so when you put a big battery underneath you and you're sitting on it for hours a day and you accumulate that over years, it's going to have a tremendous toxic effect. One blood marker that I heard from a reliable source, and I can't really share too much about it because he asked me not to, but I'm going to tell you the result that he preliminarily found, which was 18% lower testosterone in males that drive Teslas and electric cars. So most of the guys were driving the Tesla. That was the electric car that they were driving. So that's why I say that. But we need to figure out a solution to this. So EMFrocks.com has the car plug you can get. You plug it into the outlet. If you have a family, if you have a bigger car, electric car, you want to have two plugs. You plug it in both outlets in the center console and one for the back seat. And again, there's phone chargers in there as well. I've cleared those with all the meters that I have, and they are like off the charts in electricity and on radio frequency. So I had to clear it, and I'll test. I do lots of muscle testing, so I'll test the steering wheel, the seat, the roof, the floor, the door, and make sure it's cleared while the car is on and the engine's going. And in order to really clear a strong battery, like these new batteries, these Teslas can charge just like crazy amounts. So we have to put better Z pillows that we normally put underneath the bed between the mattresses to clear a bed. You actually have to ground out, or not ground, but harmonize the chair as well, the seat, the car seats. So one on each side of each seat between the car and the door of the better Z will clear it. And then if you have kids, of course, you want to put them in the back. I would just say turn the car in. I mean, this whole net zero thing is a big scam because they're still using fossil fuels. They just go to other countries to get them. And then we're left with dead batteries in 10 years or so, give or take. And those are filling up our landfills as we speak, and they're full of acid and all the other crap that's in batteries. So the effect is actually tremendous on our environment. It may help the pollution in our cities drop a little bit, but then now we're adding all this electricity in the grids, and then we're filling up the landmines. So it's really not a net zero effect. It's not zero at all in any way, shape, or form. I would much rather see us stay with what we have and just have a really fuel efficient cars. And I have a 4-cylinder car. I mean, you don't need 6, you don't need 12 unless you're towing. Like, we don't need a lot of these things. It's a lot of ego. So if you really want to help the environment, get a car that's more efficient. And then I love the newer ones that idle and they just stop when they're idling, so they're not pumping gas with that idle down. So if those car manufacturers are listening, make more efficient cars, the lighter, more fuel efficient, using gas, have that idle switch so it turns down while it's idling, and so we're not burning it. And that would be an ideal solution for the car challenge, at least until we figure out some mass transit, which will be interesting to find out. One of these days, hopefully we'll figure something more efficient out in every major city. But until then, I would be looking at buying older cars, not newer ones. The newer ones they're preparing for this 5G. They think they're so cool. They're racing to have self-driving cars. Well, I don't even see that coming, because I'm not going to give up driving my own car. I'm not going to trust myself over some computer. Like, there's no way in the world. When my neighbor, his Tesla just rear-ended another Tesla on the 405 freeway in California. He was going 80 and the other Tesla was going 60, and it smashed in the back. Big accident. And you don't hear about these things. You don't hear about malfunction of Tesla, because Tesla calls them and says, hey, were you self-driving? Are you okay first? And then, did you self-drive? And it's like, yeah. Were you paying attention? No. So they make them claim fault of the accident. But, he's on self-driving mode. He didn't drive. He put it on self-driving mode. But we're just so far away from that even happening. To get everyone on the grid, the whole grid metered out, I mean, it's just would be the biggest mess in the whole wide world, and it would destroy our health, because to have all those frequencies and radar frequencies going, it's so different than our own body. So really just enjoy driving and just keep your head up, keep your phone off and drive. Don't mess with the radio, like all these things you're taught. This isn't going to change. We have to keep it that way for our own health. And we have to let the auto manufacturers know that, hey, we don't want the prices of cars going up for a router. We're driving. We're not going to be on the internet. Okay? We have cell phones if we want to be on the internet. We don't need our whole computer just routed out to where we could have 5G while we're driving. Are you kidding me? We're supposed to be driving. Okay? So drive. And then when you're stopped and you're done driving, then you could get on a computer or your cell phone and do your work. That would be ideal. Okay, so we don't really need all this crazy technology coming into our auto world. Let's keep with what we have. It really worked really well. Let's start to find an efficient line. I mean, I would love to see a new brand emerge that was way more grounded on electricity and just actually went back to the bare bones of having a great quality car without all those gadgets and the whole front panel a massive TV, basically, which Tesla is. It's crazy. So I don't even know how they see with that blue light. I mean, that would kill your eyes. So you have the eye electricity coming in from the lights and all the white lights that the street lights are turning into, it keeps us up all night. And then you have it on the dashboard, and then you have it, all throughout your floorboard. So whether it's a solar panel on your roof or a, electric car battery below, those are still batteries, and we have to be aware that they're so different than what we do. So I would buy 2015 cars and below and find good ones and stay with those for a while until everyone figures out that having a router underneath your seat is not the best idea, and we're not going to stand it as consumers, and it's our purchase power vote that counts. So if we stop buying these cars, guess what, guys? They're not going to make them, and they're going to start to be more aware. So let's make that push and let these dealerships aware of what's going on and these manufacturers aware, not let them dictate your health. I don't want anyone dictating where I'm going. That's up to me. So That's why, you know, we're born in the USA and we have freedom and we could choose that stuff. So now we're educated enough, we can choose for our own, and let's start changing the industry with our own purchase power votes. And we'll see you out on the road. Be safe.